Attention shoppers! Tonight on the checkout, Zoe and Kirsten go a Michelle Bridges too far. Ben dips his toe into TV streaming services. And Richie beats up on debt collectors.
When we want clear nutritional advice, we turn to someone we can trust. Michelle, Australia's most influential health and fitness expert, according to everyone. Like everyone.
I heard she can lift a fire truck with her toes.
I heard she sleeps inside a Swiss ball.
Take superfoods, for example. The experts on the Michelle Bridges 12-week body transformation website say they're basically promoted as a marketing exercise, and you should skip the hard-to-pronounce health foods and go for nutritional powerhouses without the high price tag.
So when I need superfruit nutrients, I buy Michelle Bridges Blackmore's Vitality Reds Body Boost with goji, pomegranate, acai and mangosteen.
As for the omega-3 rich superfood chia seeds, the 12WBT experts say it's just a marketing trick, and the omega-3 you actually get from them is almost negligible.
But I don't have time for all that blah blah, so I just buy Michelle Bridges Blackmore's chia and organic linseed breakfast sprinkle. It's a source of omega-3 and it was used by the Mayans and the Aztecs.
Well, if it's good enough for the Mayans and the Aztecs, it's good enough for the Kirstens and the Zoes.
Amen.
Now, what about carbs? Michelle's 12WBT site says a low-carb diet isn't the answer, and we should say no to low. That's why when I want a snack, I get Michelle Bridges Blackmore's Cherry Coconut Protein Bites. After all, they're low carb.
What happened to say no to low? Michelle! Why have you forsaken us?
Oh, I can't stay mad at Michelle.
You're right.
Are you a big fan of TV?
Yeah.
Of course you are. But you don't want to shell out for Foxtel.
I don't.
And you're tired of the options on free-to-air?
God, yes.
Oh, God, yes. Okay, well, don't be quite so harsh. I mean, we're doing our best.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine. It's just my job. Anyway, by now, you'll have heard of these new streaming video on demand services that allow you to stream a comprehensive library of TV and movies whenever you want for a monthly fee. And these services are huge in the US. How huge? Well, in the second quarter of 2014, American Netflix customers streamed 5.1 billion hours of television. That is 582,000 years of TV, or half of Law and Order. And now, these services are here in Australia. So, what do you need to know? Well, if you are sure that you want to look further than the programs lovingly crafted for you by the ABC, then there are some options.
Okay.
Let's talk cost. Netflix and Stan will cost you about $10 a month for movies and TV, whereas Presto will cost you $10 a month for movies or TV, or $15 for both. ABC iView will cost you no dollars per month.
Don't my taxes pay for iView?
Yeah, well then.
And this whole
Okay, you know what? Don't your taxes pay for shut up?
Well, that's a bit...
Sorry, that was rude. We're all just very stressed, and our audience is literally dying. Anyway, all these services offer a thing called concurrent streams, which means that you can watch different shows on different devices, but at the same time. This means that if someone in the house is watching, say, Dora the Explorer, the rest don't have to.
Dad, can I watch Breaking Bad?
But she's about to find the lost keys.
Grow up.
Now, each of these services offers you a different number of streams. Presto offers you 2, Stan offers you 3, Netflix begins by offering you 1, but you can pay extra to get up to 4. And this is especially relevant for people who have kids.
I'm gonna have to upgrade my Netflix.
But you know, if you're all alone, that means that you can share your subscription across a couple of households of equally lonely Scrooges and split the cost of subscription.
I'm doing just fine, thanks.
Now, I said before that these services are hugely popular in the US, and that could well be that because in America, data caps, like everything else, are unfathomably gigantic. Just $50 to one of their major ISPs will get you anywhere from hundreds of gigabytes of data a month to unlimited data. Whereas here in Australia, getting that kind of bandwidth from one of our major ISPs can cost around $100 a month. So, do you reckon you've got enough data for this?
I don't know.
Well, let's put it this way. 1 hour of standard definition video is about a gigabyte.
Well, I've got a 100 gigabyte plan, so...
That's great, but remember that viewing habits are unpredictable. Let's say that 1 month you start watching House of Cards.
Not beginning the story that I fear.
And by the way, 670,000 US Netflix subscribers watched the entirety of the new season of House of Cards in just 1 weekend. So, if you wanted to watch the whole series of House of Cards in standard definition, that's 30 gigabytes of data. Think about that, that's a third of your cap. Plus, if you wanted to watch it in high definition, that's 90 gigabytes of data. Guess what? You've just almost blown your entire cap watching just 1 show.
Hey, I get it.
Yeah, but none of this would have happened, by the way, if you just gotten your dose of political intrigue from the ABC's own Q&A.
Okay, we'll take that as a comment. I won't really take that as a comment.
And that's just a one-user scenario. Imagine if you have kids.
Dad, you blew the internet cap again.
Totally worth it.
But there are a couple of other ways of getting around blowing your data cap. Check it out. Both Netflix and Presto have made deals with some of the major ISPs to offer their customers unmetered access to their services. Now, this means that whatever data you use streaming their video doesn't count toward your monthly cap. So, it may well be that to get the most out of these streaming services without blowing your data cap, you might want to consider switching to one of the providers that offers you unmetered access. Or, failing that, switching to a provider that's offering you lots of data on the cheap.
This is just a friendly reminder that if your internet is bundled in with your home phone, switching plans can get complicated.
What an oddly timed call.
Oh, and by the way, this is before we even start talking about whether or not your internet is going to have the speed you need in order to use these services without buffering, which is annoying.
Luckily, our speeds are exceptional.
Yeah, well, I guess that depends. See, Netflix has released a list of how they rank the speeds of Australia's ISPs. And as you can see, these 3 here are below the speeds that Netflix recommends. So that's something to consider. Yeah, it was just me standing still. Okay, let's go. And of course, there's another thing to consider. Hey, where'd you go?
Sorry, just had to do a wee.
In the middle of my segment.
I got the gist.
You got the other thing to consider is that the Australian market is smaller than the American market, but there are still 3 providers all vying for content.
Which means that if you wanted access to, say, Orange is the New Black, Breaking Bad, and a classic episode of Buffy, in America, that would be just 1 Netflix subscription. But here in Australia, that's a Netflix subscription, a Presto subscription, and a Stan subscription.
It can be kind of confusing working out who's got what, but there are actually a couple of handy comparison sites, like this one, that give you a pretty good rundown of each library. And these new streaming services also have a couple of content holes, the biggest of which is probably sport. So, if you're into your sport, you know where to turn. The
Pay
ABC.
TV.
The ABC.
'Cause you're a superstar.
And a reminder here that Marjorie is just 1 pip away from achieving a full bollard. Oh, that is some lovely work from Marjorie. The crowd's ecstatic.
Okay, fine. Traditional pay TV does still have an edge in terms of sport, and regardless of how popular these streaming services become, that is unlikely to change. Speaking of pay TV, In Australia, a lot of the big-ticket TV dramas have exclusivity deals with Foxtel, meaning that they might take a while to find their way onto these streaming services, if at all. So, if avoiding spoilers is important to you, in many cases, you might be out of luck. Whoa! I can't believe a dog becomes the king!
So does this mean, I should get Foxtel?
Well, that depends. They have dropped their prices, but the packages that have all their flagship dramas on it, these ones.
The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Wentworth, Outlander, Mad Men, Nashville, Wayward Pines, Orange is the New Black, Veep.
They'll cost you $45 a month plus $150 upfront setup costs, and that's without movies or sport. Plus, in a lot of cases, you're going to be locked in to a 12-month contract, so let's hope you like it. But honestly, it's up to you.
No, don't say that. What should I do?
Well, look, these streaming services might work for you. You've just got to be aware of your data and know that they don't have everything.
So, you won't be mad if I get it?
Nah, you know what? I think the ABC's going to be okay. I mean, where else are you going to watch Miss Fisher's murder mysteries?
Actually, I think that's on Netflix and Presto.
Oh my God, we're ruined.
Kirsten, I just can't relax thinking about how we're bludgeoned daily by slick marketing to sell us more stuff we don't actually need. It's just got me all wound up.
It's okay. Just have a Michelle Bridges Blackmore's Relax and Unwind tablet.
Good night, Zoe. Good night, Kirsten.
Good night, Michelle.
If takeaway was IKEA.
Yeah, okay, great. Excuse me, we'd like... Oh. You love apple pie!
When have I ever said I like apple
pie?
pie?
The other day when we were eating apple pie and you were like, oh, I love this apple pie. Okay. Yeah, this one. Yeah. He hasn't been on board yet doing it. You just need to do it. It's fine. I don't think that's fine.
I don't think that's it.
That's fair.
You know it's good for a while. You call me idiot? Is that
No,
it's just for once because I'm for once.
Oh my God. Where am I?
Remember that outstanding amount in your phone bill?
What phone bill?
$37.45 due on September 5th last year.
But you're not my phone company.
We're a debt collection agency. Your phone company sold the bill on to us. You see, many companies like telcos and utilities, well, they'll only chase unpaid bills for so long. That's when they bring in the professionals. We buy thousands of unpaid bills for a song. Because without, how should I say, expertise, more people are going to pay up. The first you hear about us is when you get a letter from a company you've never heard of demanding you pay them money.
I paid that bill.
Yeah, sure you did. Maybe you paid the wrong amount.
Coming!
Or maybe the bill went to the wrong address. Some people only find out they've got an unpaid debt when they go to buy a house.
That's impossible.
And suddenly find there's a little problem. Computer says no.
You know, just because you owe money doesn't mean you don't have any rights.
Who are you?
I'm Gerard Brody from the Consumer Action Law Centre. A lot of people that receive these letters from debt collection agencies think they have more power to get money out of you, but they don't. In fact, consumer regulators recommend that debt collectors shouldn't even contact you face-to-face if they can avoid it.
All right then, but don't think this won't hurt when we call you morning, noon and night, son.
Actually, debt collectors can't contact you at night, at least after 9 p.m. Debt collectors can only contact you at reasonable hours, and then only 3 times a week.
3 times a week? Are you having a laugh?
He's right, you know. For a maximum of 10 times a month. If we hassle them more than that, they can complain to the ACCC or even the Privacy Commissioner.
Not the Privacy Commissioner?
And it also says here we can't engage in conduct that draws people's attention to your situation.
If anyone here knows any reason why these two should not be wed today.
Hang on. He didn't pay his phone bill.
Wait, we're not allowed to do that.
Cripes.
If you do find yourself held hostage by a debt collection agency, whatever you do, don't ignore the debt. You could end up in court, and that's where the real trouble starts. If a court makes a finding against you,
Oi!
they can even take your personal items to cover the debt. And take part of your earnings before you even receive them. You can even be declared bankrupt. Once you add up all the fees, costs and charges, could end up owing much more than the original debt.
What you should do is ask for written proof the debt is yours if you think a mistake's been made. A debt collector should stop the collection activity until they've given you that information.
Of course, negotiating later will be much easier if you keep detailed notes describing the dates and what you've agreed. As well as saving any correspondence. You're also entitled to 1 free copy of your credit report per year. And if you have any queries, call the National Debt Hotline or visit ASIC's website.
Yeah, I'll hold.
If your debt is a home loan, personal loan, credit card or car loan, you can ask for a hardship variation if, for example, you've lost your job or are suffering from a medical condition.
I'm allergic to concrete.
If you don't get a hardship variation or you're not satisfied with the way you were treated, you can make a complaint to an industry ombudsman.
Be reasonable!
Debt collectors may seem intimidating, but if you approach them the right way, you should be able to come to an agreement.
Can I at least have some floaties?
See?
Uniqlo baby leggings.
I only buy clothes for my baby that have been tested for harmful substances, which is why I have confidence in Uniqlo baby leggings. All I have to do is open the packet.
Attention, don't open. Do not take the product out of the bag to prevent formaldehyde stains and to protect baby's skin. Warning to parents, there is a danger that children may suffocate if worn by themselves or swallowed. Uniqlo, uniquely scary labels.
Hello and welcome to FUTube. First up, we're not done with those flowers because
Blumex sucks. Well, that's just one woman's opinion. Then there's the Blumex Sucks Facebook page.
And the Blumex Ruined Our Day Facebook page.
There's the Beware of Blumex Facebook page.
And the Scammed by Blumex Facebook page.
The Blumex Punched All of the Kittens Facebook page.
Okay, well, that last one might not be real, but
no, it's real now.
Oh, all right. Anyway, Kim bought her mum a bunch of flowers for Mother's Day through Blumex.
She lives interstate and I wasn't going to get to spend the day with her.
Unlike Zoe, who still lives with her mum.
I live with my husband.
Who also lives with your mum, as does your cat.
At least I don't sleep alone.
Point is, Kim ordered the beautiful in blue arrangement, which is described on the Blumex website as
the serenity of the colour blue, along with the purity of intention symbolised by white, will let the family know you are sending your calm strength to them during these difficult times.
Which seems like a weird message to send on Mother's Day.
Unless they're for Zoe's mum.
But that's beside the point. The important thing is the flowers that actually turned up looked like this. And worse still,
they refused to provide a refund and will only give me a store credit. As if I want to deal with that company again.
Now, as we've explained before on the show, the consumer law guarantees that goods correspond with the description.
And no company's terms can trump that. But just for argument's sake, let's look at Blumex's own policy for when they don't have items in stock.
In arrangements of assorted flowers, the colours shown online will be used if at all possible, even if this means substituting other kinds of flowers of greater value.
Blumex, I want my money back. F you.
It wasn't until she took her case to the Office of Fair Trading that Blumex finally gave her a refund.
But ain't nobody got time for the Office of Fair Trading, so it can be worth running someone's name through Facebook before dealing with them.
It sure can. Next up, we have Ben, who recently came down with the flu.
When his partner came home with Sambucol elderberry cold and flu syrup, Ben was not impressed.
And not because Ben's an ungrateful jerk, but because Ben knows a bit about science. He's got a degree in biotechnology and molecular biology.
Thing is, the product only has one ingredient listed on the packet, Sambucus nigra black elderberry fruit juice.
Which sounds a lot more like a Mexican Ribena than something that's clinically shown to cut the duration of the flu by nearly half and to reduce the severity of flu symptoms.
And the Therapeutic Goods Administration must agree, because now Sambucol have this big retraction on their website.
We unlawfully made claims of benefit for the product, including those stating that Sambucol is clinically proven and effective for the treatment of flu viruses.
Because the Therapeutic Products Advertising Complaints Resolution Panel found their claims were
unlawful, misleading, and unverified.
Sambucol told us they were
required to remove the clinically trialled and cut the duration by half claims for Sambucol for future production runs.
Ooh, sounds like the TGA's really cracked down on him, eh?
Sure. If by crack down you mean that in February 2014, 3 months after they got a complaint, the panel looked at Sambucol's dodgy internet ad, then 4 months later they decided the claims were not supported by the evidence Sambucol provided. So they told Sambucol to withdraw the ad and any representations that Sambucol was clinically proven to cut the duration of flu symptoms by half and to not make those claims in any future ad, and that the panel gave Sambucol 14 days to show they would comply.
Kapow!
Ish. Because 6 weeks later, Sambucol was dobbed in for not complying. So the TGA swiftly investigated for another 4 months, after which Sambucol agreed to comply, so they dropped it.
Game over!
For that complaint. But there was another complaint in July 2014 about Sambucol doing exactly the same thing.
Well, you know what they say, fool us twice, but
this time the panel took another 7 months until March 2015 to find against Sambucol.
Is that really so long? I mean, who's counting anyway?
I am. 486 days after the first complaint had been made, the TGA cracked down with a retraction notice that Sambucol has to keep up for 120 days. That's about a quarter of the time they've been looking at these false claims.
Well, thank God that's over.
Yeah. Except for the fact that all this time, Sambucol's been allowed to sell the product with the dodgy claims because, well...
The TGA is piss weak. After they delisted the product SensorSlim for breaching their own rules... They still allowed them to sell the rest of the product.
But take your time.
Oh, and another thing. despite Sambucol's promise that as per the TGA's instructions,
every third party was contacted and was asked to remove previous representations.
those very representations were still plastered all over the websites of major retailers like Priceline, Chemist Warehouse, Towers Pharmacy and Pharmacy Direct.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. The TGA is currently investigating this with a view to action. So you can expect a result sometime in the next, what did you say, 486 days?
Yes, but ain't nobody got time for that. So we asked those retailers if they'd been contacted by Sambucol and they told us no. And only a few hours after our inquiry, Towers Pharmacy and Pharmacy Direct removed the dodgy Sambucol claims from their websites.
And of course, if you bought this product but wouldn't have had you known these claims were unlawful, misleading and unverified, you should get a full refund under the consumer law.
Buy these cold and flu socks instead.
Oh, do they work?
These socks are not a remedy of cold and flu.
Not according to the packet.
Oh, that explains why they're allowed to be on the market then. Next up, a big FU from Reverend Greg.
Can Reverend say that?
I'm Reverend Greg, and our church received an invoice from churchfine.com.au.
Well, at least it looked like an invoice because of all the invoicey stuff on it.
Account number, the date of the invoice, the date due, and the amount.
Greg had never heard of Churchfine.
It says renewal advice, implying this is a service that we're already receiving.
Greg sensed a presence of evil, so he rang Churchfind, who said,
They informed me that no, this is not an invoice, but merely promotional material. So I said this was deliberately misleading and designed to look like an invoice to get people to pay.
Amen, Greg. Churchfind is a classic example of a false billing scam.
And there are a whole bunch of these sort of scams out there, like Accommodation Find for Vic Tourism,
Holiday Great Ocean Road,
Accommodation Vic,
International Database of Registered Trademarks,
Domain Names Group,
Domain Register.
Now, a lot of these scams also intentionally choose names that are very similar to legitimate organisations.
Like Church Find could be confused for the free online directory Church Finder.
And domain registration scams might list a web address that looks very similar to your real web address.
These scams also tend to say something like,
"This is not a bill. You are not required to pay any money."
And a lot of people think that that gets these companies off the hook, but it doesn't. Unless these words are the most prominent text in the document, then they're breaking the law and you're entitled to a refund.
So I won't get a refund for this?
No. And if this has happened to you, you should take it up with the fair trading office in your state or territory.
Yeah, but nobody ain't got time for that. So if you're really mad, why not send them some flowers from Blumex?
Because nothing expresses the purity of FU quite like a mystery shitposy. Good night.